Isn't that nice?
Whoa.
Look at that. Look at how much space there is between two sterns.
It's almost... the 5 fans who watch the video will wonder whether we're actually in the same space or not. This is so odd.
It's a trick of photography. Here's the thing. So, you traveled all this way. You traveled across the country to be in the same room with me, and we still have to look at a fucking computer screen while we talk to each other.
I'm uncomfortable looking you in the eyes. This is great. I'm Jared Stern.
I'm also Jared Stern.
And you're
Between Two Sterns.
It's too close.
It is very close. Well, we have to fit in the screen.
Even though I'm closer to the computer monitor normally when I'm talking to it. I'm here in DC in the home of Jared Stern, and I'm going to stop kicking the table at this point.
That's not going to be helpful.
But I'm in the home of Jared Stern, and look at how beautiful this home is. Andrea has done a wonderful job decorating your home for me.
I have nothing to do with the decoration of this home. That's all her.
You're welcome, Andrea.
We had the meeting. We had the meeting of the Sterns.
First of all, you and I have met in person now.
Yes. Well, that's proven by the fact that we're sitting right here next to each other. But even before that, yesterday.
Are we? Can you trust what you see on the internet? Are we really next to each other?
This is a very crisp camera, not like the cataract that I normally film through on my end.
It's true. I was talking to Julie about this, and I was like, I feel like there was such a focus yesterday on whether our parents would get along.
Yeah.
That we overlooked how well you and I got along.
Well, sure, but we know how well we get along.
But not in person.
Yes, we're meeting each other in person. I just would like to say that this is the closest outside of my wife that I've been to another human being in about a year and a half. I have not sat this close to another person.
It is uncomfortable, right? It's a little.
I mean, we gotta stay in frame, but
we're hugging the corners of the frame right here.
There's not a lot of room between two Sterns.
And it was weird having like 10 people out to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yesterday in that kind of social gathering.
We got the whole Stern mishbucha together.
All the Sterns.
And our parents sat on one side of the table, and then there was the kids' table.
It felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I knew that there would be questions from the parents for us and for, your siblings as well. But I knew that the real key was to see that they hit it off. Because they are neighbors.
Like right across the street from each other, practically.
They live a Stern's throw from each other.
They do live a Stern's throw away from each other.
Yeah, it's so close. Like I'm shocked they haven't already met each other in some way, shape, or form.
There was a part of me that wondered if they were going to meet each other and somehow it crossed paths in Bethesda.
Yeah.
Where, hopefully not in a terrible way, where somebody cut somebody off in traffic.
You
or like,
motherfucker.
that
If
guy
I see
was
you
that
again
asshole
one
at that
day.
restaurant. But, it was good that we avoided that.
Yeah.
We did discover that our parents do not have the same name. That's not something we talked about.
Not even close to the same name.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And the questions for us kind of tapered down toward.
Yeah, they just started.
They just connected with each other.
Yeah. They did. I think your mom wanted to know how my parents came up with the name Jared. I did enjoy the fact that your parents practiced screaming your name.
Yes.
To see how it would fit.
All of my siblings, our names were practiced being yelled to make sure that
you
gotta
gotta
appropriately.
Make sure it comes out right.
And they got along really well. It turns out our dads think chicken meatballs are a real thing, and that it's only beef meatballs.
Yeah.
That's a common out. They ordered the same food. They fed each other. It was really delightful. It was a whole Lady and the Tramp scenario for Stan and Art.
Yeah. It was weird to see that they both ordered the same pizza.
Did, right?
Without checking with each other first.
No.
Very strange.
And I really liked the way almost immediately everybody squared off on either side of the table. The only two people who didn't pair up right were Andrea, you, me, and Julie, because it was like dads, moms, me and Andrea, you and Julie, and then my brother and MK were off to the side. But she had to sit off to the side because we didn't want to make her feel bad not being able to drink with her being pregnant and all.
That's right. Congratulations again.
Once again, MK, I got to tell you, I'm very, very excited for your for your child that'll be born. Also, hello, Millers. Once again, a big shout out to Kiz's parents.
But I'm hoping that this will touch off a friendship, and because when people of that age, they need activities to do. They need people to hang out with. They need new social circles as other ones close.
Agreed.
That's a very light way of putting that. But yeah, I think my dad and your dad are going to go golfing or something like that.
And I think that our moms got along really well. I do have that concern that it reaches that point where they don't contact each other. So my idea was, because we know that all 4 of them listen to the podcast. So,
yes.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It was so cool having you guys out. Really
and we're going to talk about you in front of your ears now. I had an idea to play a version of Two Truths and a Lie about both of our parents. We just make up things that aren't true about them, so they have to talk to each other to find out
to clear shit up.
To clear shit up.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that my dad almost competed in the Olympics?
I did not know that.
Neither does he. But if you listen to the podcast,
right,
a lot of people are going to think that's the case.
Yeah. One thing that I was kind of worried about this particular episode, because we've built it up quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
The novelty of having us in each other's space.
Yeah.
Maybe that's worn off for some people now that they've seen it on camera. If the video ever gets posted,
the video will get posted. Eventually.
Okay. I know everyone's been enjoying the therapy video. but here's the thing. Nothing happened outside of everyone having a good time. Like,
it's so frustrating because we wanted something juicy to bring to this.
We wanted someone to slip up and say something. We wanted something to get spilled. We wanted any kind of, nothing catastrophic, obviously.
Nothing terrible. No, like, Real Housewives of Bethesda. But, like, I wanted
something story-worthy.
There's nothing to tell. Yeah. Everybody got together. They had a wonderful time.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing you'll hear about on Between Two Sterns. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, right? That's it.
So here's something that we need to address, because I feel like...
Tell me your feelings.
I feel like we have reached a new plateau on the podcast. This was a goal to eventually meet face to face. This was a thing. I feel like this has been the goal of the podcast since the inception of the podcast, to eventually be in the same room doing the podcast. Check.
I feel like I forgot that was the original goal.
Well, it was
you said
goal.
It in this moment. I was like, oh yeah, we just finally really met each other.
Yeah, I mean, and that was, so we've been meeting each other for now 18 goddamn weeks.
I think the pandemic has normalized Zoom conversations so much that the meeting of you and I is almost not as climactic as I felt like it should have been.
Sure. I feel like this is the end of an arc for the podcast. We have reached this goal. We got here. Right. We're here. We're doing this in person. What the fuck are we doing now?
We're at the end of phase 1.
Yeah.
If we're doing the Marvel equivalent. We're not at the Thanos snap quite yet. We're still in the beginning. But, like, this is the first Avengers meetup. Sure. Right, we're here together.
I mean, eventually, the dream is, once we've done, several hundred episodes of this podcast, and we have a loyal following.
Yes.
Not to say that our followers are not currently loyal. I know some friends of mine who live and die with this podcast, who are always, on our every word, wondering what's going on, and actually pay attention to us.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But once we have established a core following, I feel like we can have like a convention where we can get all the Jared Sterns from around the world to meet in one place. And who knows, if we're dealing with COVID-25 at that point, and we can't do that still. But and sorry for even saying that.
I think that our goal should be to have a Jared Stern show where we perform only for an audience of Jared Sterns.
Yeah. So I think that the new goal of the show is going to be to encounter as many more of us as we can on whatever level. I don't care if they're famous. I don't care if it's, obviously I care if it's the screenwriter. Yeah. He's our white whale. But if I don't care who you are. Yeah. As long as your name is Jared Stern and you're spelled correctly, you're welcome here. We would love to talk to you. We want to know more about people who share our name and what your day-to-day life is like.
And if your name is spelled slightly incorrectly,
no.
It's not their fault.
I don't care. I don't want to...
That's their parents. If you want to come on and complain about your parents not naming you appropriately.
I'm sorry. If your name is Jarrod, get the fuck out.
I went to school with a Jared spelled that way.
Yeah, Jarrod.
If you would like to legally change your name to the proper spelling of Jared Stern, you are welcome on the podcast. The point is...
What's the point?
We're not going to stop doing these now that we've met.
Yeah, no. I mean, if anything, I think it enhances the experience.
I agree.
It's just one more layer. This has been such a fucking pleasant surprise. This entire experience. The fact that it's taken this long makes me sad because
it's so frustrating.
Because we could have been doing this for a couple of years now.
In our dare I say, our prime?
Yeah. Now we're on the downslope.
But yeah, it has been a genuine pleasure getting to know you over the past 18 weeks. Obviously, the podcast is something that we've both talked about independently, enjoying as a creative outlet. But the real thing that's kind of fascinating is the friendship that came out of this.
Yeah. Because you could have been a giant asshole.
So could you.
I know. No, that's actually the better chance was me being an asshole.
I'm too much of an accommodator to be an asshole to people.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, not just the fact that we get along, but that we genuinely get along.
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you for years, that level of comfort. And that's the type of comfort you can only find right here between two Sterns.
Fucking
That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
It's the first time we did it successfully.
Yes.
And it's so good that we're going to keep doing it over and over again.
And we're taking what just happened there and editing it into every ensuing episode.
Absolutely.
We're capturing that audio.
Our endings now go between two Sterns. Fuck yeah. 80s high five. And then goes to the drums.